There's headlines all the time about how Donald Trump is losing his base. It's falling apart. And certainly in the polling, he's not necessarily doing as well as he would like to. But there is one group in America that is still, they're still liking their Donald Trump. And unfortunately, it's a big group. White people. Roughly 50% of white voters would vote to re-elect Republican President Donald Trump if the election were held today, according to a new poll by Hill-HarrisX. This is not a poll from 6 months ago or 2 years ago. Today, 1 in 2. Like, if you went out, 50% of all the white people you see are still like, yes, more Trump, please. I would like 4 more years of that. Gary, I know that this is a topic you wanted to talk about. What are your thoughts?
I think it speaks to the disconnect that the average white voter in the states that Trump does the best have from the rest of America. And the consistent disregard for the humanity of other people. This belief, that if you're not satisfied with Trump, you should get out of the country, go back where you come from if you're black or if you're brown. And I'm from here. Okay. I'm from here. Now, my ancestors did not come here by choice, but as a result, we're here and we're not going anywhere. And what's also telling is how the majority of other races are voting against Trump, right? Or plan to. And I think that's telling because it shows that his policies, his demeanor, his posture, his actions towards black people, towards people of color, is one that has been a full-on assault since he was a candidate. And I believe that many people in that community they revel in watching the things that Trump does. And it's just not popular to say that they're racist. But to support a racist means you're a racist, in my opinion.
Yeah, and nobody gets to, I mean, I don't think in 2016 you could, but certainly nobody gets to be like, I haven't really seen it yet. It hasn't been clear to me. No, everything is so clear, and it has been bashed into our skulls on a daily basis for literally years now. A significant portion of our lives we've been witnessing this. And half of white voters have seen all of it, and they like it. I sort of pitched the intro as they're okay with 4 more years, but many of them are enthusiastic about 4 more years. And Trump's worst excesses, they wish he would be less restrained. Like the sort of dog whistles last week he said about, we're going to stop low-income housing from coming into your suburban dream and ruining it. Like, they want more explicit racist language than Trump is offering. Half of voters. What a sad, sad country that they're okay with that.
I think that Trump is Bull Connor. He is what exposes the hatred, the bigotry, and the racism that, went under the covers during the Obama years because we were on this whole conversation about a post-racial society. And what we see is, no, the racists were just, ironing their sheets, right? That they were just getting ready. And I think that they traded in the white sheet for a red tie and a blue suit and show up at Republican Party meetings and discuss how they can literally systemically cut people out of the voting process. Even Trump's whole logic about mail-in voting, right? The guy who votes absentee voting is telling people that mail-in voting is a problem.
Exactly.
Right? He's a pathological liar. And to watch him do the things that he does consistently and cheer that on says that you enjoy this, and it says that you are it, that this is you. And I think that Trump, in large part, is just catering to the base. He is just trying to do the things that he believes will get them excited and motivated to get out and vote. No matter what the virus is doing, they're going to go vote. And of course, he's saying, don't social distance, don't wear a mask. It doesn't matter if you wear a mask, all of those things. Of course, he's taken that position because it's going to encourage more of his people to participate in the process in the traditional way, which allows us to have quicker counts of those votes, I think, on election night.
Yeah. Now, let's jump into a few of the other numbers, give people an idea of where different groups currently lie. So we've got Right now, Trump leading Biden among male voters 45 to 43, so he wins over guys. Midwest voters 42 to 39, independent voters 35 to 33, which is not generally how I've seen in different polls that he's leading in that group, but apparently here. Voters earning above $75,000 a year 48 to 39. Voters aged 35 to 49 by 44 to 37, so he's winning amongst those sort of core adults as well. Now, Biden is up in some groups. Biden wins among all other non-politically affiliated voter demographics. His largest lead is among black voters by 65 points, Hispanic voters by 22 points, younger voters and those earning less than $75,000 a year, as well as female voters and Western regional voters by a good bit. So, Gary, what I'm curious about from you is we know sort of why Trump is getting some of the support that he is, and some of those people are never going to vote for someone other than Trump because they love certain core, generally racial things about Trump. But for Biden, so tell me a little bit about what you've seen from him, what he's been offering, and what you think he could offer to really like ram this thing home, to finally close it. What do you think?
Well, I'm extremely progressive, so I take a lot of issues with Joe Biden, and I'm not the best person to be a spokesperson for him. What I'm here to tell you is we can't do more of what we've done, right? This guy is so bad that Joe Biden is the best option we can go with right now. My hope is that he picks a phenomenal vice presidential candidate that will excite the base in a way that he does not, that will excite progressives in a way that he does not, and kind of be the yin to his yang so that he can get greater traction. Because, the truth is we can't just be against Trump, right? We've got to have a plan forward. And I think that if we don't begin to spell that out in a way that reaches people. And the pandemic is going to make it difficult for candidates to move around. But I would love to see Biden not just concentrate on swing states, but, get active in the Deep South, get active in the states that Trump does not expect him to be active in or his campaign to be active in. Louisiana is 34% black. If you turn out, Hillary Clinton got 62% black turnout in 2016. President Obama got 67% black turnout in 2012. What if Joe Biden invested in trying to figure out how do we get that number up to 70 to 75% black voter turnout? And what does that do to an election? I think we've got to get very strategic, very down to the grassroots level. And that's how you upset Trump.
Yeah. I share your hope about the VP pick, that he's going to choose someone. And certainly, I have names that I've mentioned on the show. Do you think that he will, though? And if who are some of the names that you would like? And do you think that he's likely to go in that direction when, they're currently talking about like Susan Rice or maybe Kamala Harris or something like that?
So I think Susan Rice or Kamala Harris would do a phenomenal job for Joe Biden. I think either one of these women would add credibility among black voters to him. There, of course, will be questions about both of them. Senator Harris and her prosecutorial background. And of course, people are going to bring up Benghazi with Ms. Rice. But I believe that both of them have done enough to be in the positions that they're in. They're qualified for the job. And I think that they would add a flair to him that he could not do on his own as a nearly 80-year-old white man.
Yeah. I wonder if you share my fear. I know that what's coming out of Trump's campaign sort of implies that they get that there's not a lot of voters necessarily who haven't made up their minds. Actually, really fast, let me read that. We've got about 3 to 7% of voters saying that they don't plan to vote. 5 to 16% of voters says they're not sure. So it is a very small slice of America that's not sure. And it looks like most Americans haven't really, for some reason, they haven't liked Trump's pandemic response or, how he's dealing with the economic collapse. So Trump seems to be banking on these debates are going to swing this thing back to me. What do you think about that? Do you think that it's likely that could shake things up and put Trump back on top?
I would not underestimate Trump in a debate because the most dangerous man in the room is the one with nothing to lose. And Trump he has nothing to lose in his mind because people within his community will love him always. Those folks are diehard for Trump. They literally went out in the middle of a pandemic to hear him. I don't care if it was 6,000 or 12,000. There were people willing to risk their lives to listen to this man. And so I'm not sure he really wanted to be president to begin with, but I don't think he truly cares other than the fact that he doesn't like to lose, right? But his posture will be to try to embarrass Joe Biden. And I just hope that Joe is ready to respond and be very laser focused in on the issues against Trump.
Yeah. I'm sort of dreading it, man. If I'm being honest, I'm dreading it because, look, I think that Biden did okay in the Democratic primary debates. He generally, like, the voters seem to like those performances more than I would have expected, trying to step out of my bubble. But I wonder against Trump. Trump is such a wild card in debates, like looming behind people like a gargoyle, and he'll say random things. I mean, God only knows what he's going to say about Biden. And so those are going to be tense nights, I think. Not looking forward to them necessarily.
Lots of Sleepy Joe comments.
Oh my God,
Lots
yeah.
of them.
Oh my God, yeah.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.